Jaya Kapishati Uloka Ujaga Ramaduta Atulita Baladama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama Samkatakate Mete Sabapira Josumare Hanumata Balabira J Hanumana Gosai Kripakaho Guru Devi Kinai. So I've been making these videos every morning. Not every morning, but most mornings I'll record after I finish my practice, my morning sadhana. And I just share what's alive, I share what's like coming through for me. And I've been on this path of yoga for 12 years now. And through that time, there's been some difficult moments. I am going through a difficult moment right now in my life, and without sharing details, I could probably say with confidence that I think that a lot of the challenges that we suffer in life as human beings are universal. Like there's a commonality, there's a similarity between the challenges that people go through. And the more I learn about my own humanity and my emotions and my just everything that is in this world, the worldly dimension and the human experience and the body and the mind and the energy, there are like common themes that I think people like you and I are going through, right? And these common themes are often explained in symbolic language through stories such as universal stories like mythology, right? Like mythology being an explanation by humans to explain how things are working, right? Like this is kind of the idea, at least. I really like the tea. What was I saying? Mythology. And I've spent a good amount of time studying the work of Carl Jung and Robert Moore and contemporaries of Carl Jung, Joseph Campbell, Sigmund Freud, Mircea Eliade. These are all people who have spent a considerable amount of time studying like the human psyche, right? The human psyche, which through their study and through not only their study but their dissemination of the wisdom that they discovered or was revealed to them through their practice and through their study of the human psyche. Like all these people I mentioned were scientists of the mind. The common theme, like the something that I found parallel in all of them, is that the human condition there is a structure to it. There's a structure to the psyche. There's a structure to the mind. And it's very sophisticated, this mind of ours. And the way that we behave and the way that the world appears to us and therefore is shaped by us, and ultimately how our relationships unfold and the experiences we have, all of that is an outcome of what's happening in the mind. What sort of thoughts we're thinking habitually, what sort of ideas we have, our ability to hold concentration and to focus for periods of time, to move beyond distraction, or our lack of ability to do that. All of the things that are happening in the mind are affecting everything that happens in our world, right? And it's, when we look at it, it's kind of common sense to notice and observe this, what I'm describing here, about how the world is a manifestation of the mind. But knowing that, or at least conceptualizing that, like intellectualizing, right? I'll make that point clear. To intellectually know that the world is created from the mind doesn't necessarily free us from the trap of the mind and the suffering of the mind. It doesn't, just knowing that, right? Knowing that doesn't really do anything for us, because then the same habitual thoughts continue happening, the same outcomes, the same manifestations continue to occur. So then what do we do, right? Like what do we want to do about the situation? Well, at least according to the work of these psychologists, psychoanalysts, mind scientists, the people I mentioned, Carl Jung, Joseph Campbell, Robert Moore, there is a universal pilgrimage that the soul needs to go through, right? Like it's universal. Every human being, no one is exempt from this. And this pilgrimage of the soul is the journey back to the center, back to the very source of life, the source of the mind, the source of all energy, the source of all creativity, source of ideas. Like, that is the journey that we are tasked with. And we're tasked with that journey because that is the journey that leads to rebirth, to renewal, to transformation. And as a human being as the human being is the soul incarnate, according to some traditions. Whether or not you believe this is just up to you and depending on what you resonate with. And that soul is undergoing a process of transmutation and basically learning, growth. Then the soul in the human experience is undoubtedly going to go through a process of growth and transformation. And it's the resistance to that growth from the level of the mind or the ego that leads to suffering, leads to fragmentation, disintegration, dis-ease. All of that has to do with not being aligned with the soul. The soul as the animate spark of our existence, the light behind the screen, right? That this force behind everything is actually animating and giving life to everything. And the journey that I'm talking about is the journey to go back to where is that soul emerging into this world. That's the center. It's the center of the center, right? It's also, you could also think of it as like the center beyond the center. It's the great other, right? It's the mysterious being behind it all that is the individual fragment of the supreme. Right? You follow me? Like the soul inside of each of us is like a holographic spark of the infinite. And so the infinite is contained within it as a whole, but it's also a part of the whole. You follow me? So this spiritual journey that we're on is about returning back to that center beyond the center, to remember our true nature, right? who we really are, beyond the stories, beyond the mind, beyond the intellect. And in so doing, the process of renewal can take place. The process of transformation can take place. But only if we go back to that very center and actually submerge ourselves in that source, which is like, it's like the baptism. You know, it's a baptism of fire in some ways, because to submerge ourselves into that, we have to let go of all the ideas that we have and all of the attachments that we have about who we are, what we think we should do, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff needs to go. Like, we can't actually get into that place without letting that go. It's like what Jesus said, right? To pass through the eye of a needle. I think that's what he said. I'll find the quote. So this is the journey that we're on, right? It's not an easy one. This is not an easy task that we've been faced with, but it's, as I was sharing in the beginning, this is common in all humans. We are all going through this in some way or another. And the more we resist it and the more we avoid it, the more we suffer. The more misery comes, because we're going against the current of the universe, right? This current, this cosmic current that's flowing through all of us. It's a really big deal. So I'm just here, you know, doing my thing with yoga, learning about myself, learning about spirituality. I live way up in the mountains in Costa Rica, and I have this beautiful earth temple where I do most of my practices. Groups come up here and visit, and we practice around the fire. And I lead retreats up here where people come and they study with me for some time. But mostly it's just, you know, I'm creating content for people like yourself so that you can plug into a current of living intelligence, right? Like, this isn't stuff that this is just coming through. It's not like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, you know? And this channel is just a platform for that intelligence to flow through, right? I can't take any credit for it. I'm just the humble messenger receiving it, and then, you know, trying to capture it while it's coming through, and hopefully it lands for somebody, and I have no attachment one way or another, you know? I'm just gonna be here doing my thing, and maybe it's helpful. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But it's certainly something alive in me is compelling me and inspiring me to do this, you know, to create a platform to share these teachings with others. And I just trust that that's enough. And so far, seems to be working. So yeah, our retreat's full in March, or it's almost full. So yeah, like I said, seems to be working. I've been teaching for like 10 years though, so it's not like I just started yesterday or whatever. Anyways, now I'm starting to ramble and the sun's about to rise, so I'm gonna complete this morning satsang, and I'm gonna wish you all a beautiful day, and I will see you very soon. See you guys, bye.